Hey Cam Fam! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna have a really practical vlog that I feel like a lot of us will find useful because a lot of us have a work from home setup. So hopefully all these tips that I'm about to share with you would really help. But before anything else, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and click on that bell button so you're always notified whenever I have new videos like this one. Past few months, a lot of us have been on video calls. Maybe it's because of your work, or you want to interact with your friends, connect with your friends, or maybe even you're having an online job interview. So for sure, a lot of us have been doing these video calls. I've been receiving a lot of questions about this, like what tips can I give you guys so that you can look your best. So here are my tips, everything from how you're supposed to do your makeup, how you're supposed to fix your hair, what kind of clothes would look better, how can you keep your focus when you're on a Zoom class or a Zoom call or a Zoom meeting, how you can choose the right background for you, what kind of room should you be in, and stuff like that. So here goes. So first things first, your face. When it comes to your skin and your makeup, you gotta keep it simple. I mean, I know that a lot of us have been working from home, and some people may think that because you're working from home, you have more time, but actually, especially if you're a mom, you're a wife, or let's say you're a kid who gets ordered around by their parents all the time, many of us have a lot of things on our plate happening at the same time because we're at home. For example, for me, I am super busy because I have to keep track of our household, I have to cook our meals, I also have to do a lot of different things for my work. So I feel like I actually have shorter mornings now, even shorter mornings, because I have so many things that I do, especially during mornings. So whenever I have a Zoom meeting at like 11 a.m., that's when I feel like, oh my god, I have so many things to do. So I like to keep things very simple. So I first start off with my skincare. You guys know that I love to use the Olay Power Duo because it's super simple and super convenient, and you immediately have that glow that you want. And if you saw my makeup tutorial or my makeup Q&A with Antea Bueno, she says that the best way for you to achieve that glowing skin is to really start off with your skincare. So to keep it simple and not make it into an 11-step skincare, because ain't nobody got time for that, so I use my Olay White Radiance Light Perfecting Essence. I just drop a few pumps onto my palm and then rub my palms together and just pat it all over my face just so I can take care of my pesky marks. And also, I get to prepare my skin for the next step, which is the Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream. You guys know that this is my go-to moisturizer. So I just put a tiny bit all over my face just to make sure that I get that glow on before I put on my concealer. It's as easy as that, super duper quick. Same goes for my makeup. I don't really like to use a lot, especially with our weather. I don't really pile on so much foundation. So what I do is I just get my foundation and I use it as a concealer. So I put it under my eyes just to conceal any dark eye bags from, let's say, binging a Netflix series the night before. And you guys know that we all have fallen into that trap. And then I also put it around on the sides of my nose, around my lips, also on the bridge of my nose. So these are parts that I want highlighted or concealed. So it's either I want to conceal the dark spots or I want to highlight these high points of my face. So I also put around my chin, and also those little marks that I want to cover, I just use my foundation to conceal it. I don't put my foundation all over my face, and this is where you can see how my skincare comes in handy because it helps me still get that glow and that luminous finish even without having to put foundation all over my face. And then I'm lucky because I've already got microbladed or semi-permanent eyebrows, so technically I don't really have to put this, but it's nice to always have your kilay on because you guys know what they say, you should always have your kilay on. So make sure that your eyebrows are on fleek. And then I also just add a little bit of like black mascara onto my eyebrows just to make them pop a little bit more. It's not so light. And then I move on to my blush on, and what I like to use is just a natural pink color just to make me look like I'm, you know, sweet, like very fresh. So I like to use like a light pink color, but of course this depends on your complexion. And then after that, I choose an eyeshadow that's really neutral and very natural to my color. So this is the eyeshadow that I chose. Definitely don't go crazy, like don't go putting pinks or purples or greens or yellows. The point is to look natural. You just really want to look awake. because you don't want your boss to know that you've been Netflixing and binging all night long. So it's just about looking fresh and awake. So I just add a little bit of color all over my lids, and then you could skip this step, but for me, I like to extend my eyeline or extend my eyes using a brown eyeshadow, just because I have chinita eyes and I feel like this really makes my eyes look brighter and bigger. And then after that, don't forget to curl your lashes, because I feel like when you curl your lashes, you really put focus on your eyes, and again, the point is to look awake. So I just curl my lashes and put on some mascara. No need to go crazy and put on falsies. Again, we're all about looking natural. So just put mascara onto your upper lashes and your bottom lashes. And after that, you could just put on like a really natural looking lippy. So I'm gonna show you what lippy I chose, because I'm sure a lot of you will be asking. I feel like every video someone's asking about my lipstick, and I fail to answer you because I always forget what I used. And then just for some much added glow, because you guys know I can't live without my highlighter, just a little bit of highlight onto the tip of your nose, on your cupid's bow, on your cheeks, and also just by your brow bone, so that, you know, there's just a little bit of like dimension to your face and it's not all flat. Because I'm sure you've noticed the cameras on your laptop and on your phones, when it comes to video calls, they're not really so flattering. So the little details really, really help. Tip number 2, when it comes to your hair, just make sure your hair is frizz-free and it's not messy. Again, you just gotta make sure that you're properly groomed and you look presentable. So for me, I just like to just blow out my hair, just blow dry my hair just to remove the frizz. I don't really do anything else, that's it. If you don't have time, which happens a lot because again, we are busy women even if we're working from home, then just do like a quick low ponytail or just a low bun. That's good enough. Just make sure that you don't use your clip. I know that it's so tempting to just use that hair clip, you know, that clamp thing, but I feel like that really gives off a very unprofessional vibe, especially if it's a professional call. It's much better if you just really just tie your hair and not just use the clip. Tip number 3, let's talk about fashion. When it comes to fashion, avoid any of the busy patterns or super duper loud colors. Stick to plain designs with very, very neutral colors. Nothing loud, nothing too fancy, just stick to those. Those are safer, and also at least you won't be clashing with anything in your background for sure. Now, you also have to consider your background. Like for example, I'm in this background. I wouldn't be wearing anything like that's in a dark blue color, because then I would be blending into my background. So you should always consider your background when it comes to dressing up for your Zoom or your video call. When I asked you guys over on Instagram, like what are the things that you guys want me to talk about when it comes to Zoom or video call tips, someone was also asking, what about if I am doing an online job interview? I think my best tip would be to go for a collared top and make sure that you're wearing sleeves. At the end of the day, I think it's still a job interview, so even though it's a more informal setting in a way that you're not really doing it face to face, you still gotta make sure that you look like you're actually in it to win it, you know? So wear what you'd normally wear to a job interview. Wear a collared top. But look at this, it's not white, it's not black, it's not anything boring. It is a color green, but it is a neutral green. It's not a loud type of green. And make sure that it's well pressed. This is not well pressed, but make sure that it's well pressed so that there are no creases. You still look very, very professional. Every time there are creases, it looks like you're messy, you're probably not too organized, and me, as an employer, I would take that into consideration. Now, when it comes to busy patterns, what do I mean by busy patterns? This is a busy pattern. There's so many things going on. At the end of the day, you want to be simple. You don't want to look like you're going to a party, unless it's a party. It's a Zoom party, you know? But yeah, wear something simpler, not as loud as this. First of all, the pattern is already super duper loud. All the colors are really bright. It's really not for a formal Zoom meeting. Now, someone might ask, how about the classic stripe or the classic polka dot? For me, I think a lot of people always say, like, especially when you're doing shoots, a lot of the videographers that I know do not recommend stripes. I don't know why. It can be dizzying, I guess, but maybe stay away from the stripes if they're bold stripes. But if they're thin stripes like pinstripes, I'm sure it's not gonna be noticeable. Polka dots, for me, I think it's much more of like a fun type of outfit. It's not really for meetings and stuff. So if you can stay away from them, then stay away. Small floral patterns are okay. Something in neutral colors, like if it's patterned but it's in a neutral color, then that's fine as well. But your next question might be, do I always have to wear sleeves? No, you don't always have to wear sleeves. Depends on your type of work, but for me, I don't really have super formal meetings, so I just wear something that's a bit more decent. I'm not wearing my camisole, I'm not wearing my slip dress, I'm not wearing anything that would be too revealing. Like if I try to like get something or bend down, I'm not gonna be showing anything that I don't want to be showing. So just make sure that it's a proper like conservative top, something that really covers well and is not uncomfortable to move in. So here are a few examples. If you are in a more formal setting and you still want to wear something that's very businessy but not really long sleeved or with sleeves because it can tend to be hot, then wear something like this one. So it's got a high collar, it's got full sleeves, it's still okay. This one doesn't have a collar on, but it is not a knit. So it is a nice woven fabric. It is more formal than just wearing a shirt or wearing a knit or wearing a tank top. So this is still okay. Another example is wearing an extended sleeve top like this. So these tops are perfect, they're fine, they're comfortable, but still they look professional. And if you've noticed, they're actually colored and they're not just creams or blacks or whites or grays. They're colored, but again, they're not loud. I would also suggest not to tuck in your tops just so they don't bulge in places you don't want to be bulging or they won't look bulky. So just let your tops flow. But how about your bottoms? Because I know it's always just our upper half. If you're sure you're not gonna stand or your screen is never gonna see the bottom half of your body, then whatever you wanna wear there, we're fine. Just make sure there's no reflection where you'll be exposed, because we've all seen those memes. But if you do wanna wear something below, just in case they would see, like what you're wearing at the bottom half of your body, doesn't have to be pants. If you want them to be pants, then culottes are okay. Currently, I'm wearing culottes. I'm gonna show you. So they're really, really flowy. I feel really comfortable in them. I feel like it could really move. It's not restricting any blood flow. It doesn't stick to my skin, so air still comes in. That's why I really, really recommend them. Don't go for sweatpants. I mean, if you're gonna go for sweatpants, you might as well just wear shorts or pajama pants. I mean, if our point is there's a risk of them seeing your bottoms, right? I would suggest also wearing crisper shorts like these. So these are fine. If they see you wearing that type of shorts, then that's fine. You still look very, very proper. You don't look like you just rolled out of your bed. So that's a nice option for you because at least half of your legs are still exposed and it won't be so hot. Also, pay attention to your accessories. Don't wear too much bangles like these so that when you move, it's not gonna be too noisy. Keep it simple. Just wear small earrings or studs and stuff like that. Just keep it really, really simple. Tip number 4. Where do you do your Zoom call? Now, for me personally, I feel like you have to do it in a place where you can really be quiet and it's not a busy place where there's always people going back and forth behind you. So don't be doing it in your living room or in your dining room or your common area is seen. Make sure that it's a room where you can actually close the door so that you can tune out the noise and you can really, really get into your zone. And it's a place where you can really pretend it's your office. It also makes you more productive. It makes it less distracting for you because you don't see people running around back and forth and you don't hear people watching Netflix, you don't hear people cooking, it's just really much more productive. It gets you in the zone much, much better. Tip number 5. Now you've chosen the room where you're supposed to do it. Now choose what area. How do you choose your background? For me personally, the nicest would be just a blank wall, just so it's perfect. So I could use like the blank wall here. If not, if you're in an office, a nice like shelf would also be okay as long as your shelf is not cluttered. If it's a nice shelf, that's fine. If, for example, you have a couch at the back, as long as it's not a messy, cluttered background, then that is fine. You don't want people seeing like messy clothes all over the place or messy packages all over the place. Just make sure it's a clean background. I think it goes without saying that your background shouldn't be, let's say, the door to your bathroom, where the door is open and you can see all the way through your bathroom, or it's not supposed to be the headboard of your bed, because if this is a formal meeting, they don't want to know that you're actually doing the meeting on your bed. So it's nice to give off a little bit of formality when it comes to your background. So nothing that's cluttered, nothing that's disorganized, nothing that would make your boss think you're just in bed. Tip number 6. Now this tip is all about finding the best lighting for your Zoom or your video call. For me, best lighting is still daylight. So if it is during the day, then it's always nicest to face a window. Now, if you're doing your Zoom call through your phone and you're too close to your window, it can get kind of harsh and it will look like you're overexposed. So just find a good balance. Just keep moving backwards until you find that perfect lighting. It's always a nice, like what BJ was telling me, it's like a soft box, when you're in front of a window, because the light source comes through and then you have this ceiling on top of you and all the walls are without windows, so it's like a soft box. it's all coming from this direction. So that's a nice way to use daylight as the perfect lighting for your video. Never ever face your back towards a window. So don't ever go against the lighting, because that is the worst lighting ever, especially when it comes to your skin. You know, the best lighting for your skin is always when you face the light source. Some of you were asking, like, what if your light source is from the side? Think about it. If it's from the side, then this side of your face doesn't get light, so this will become darker, this will become harsher, all the shadows are here. So it's always better if it's from the front. Now, if it's not during the day, what kind of light source can you have? For me personally, I have a small ring light that I can use. So I just put it on around my camera, because that's how ring lights work best. If your camera is right in the middle of your ring light, if you really want to be legit, you can also purchase bigger ring lights. Personally for me, what I use for shoots, I have an 18-inch ring light. Now, if you don't want to invest in a ring light, that is fine. All you have to do is search, Google an image or on YouTube and just put like white LED light. Or you could also search on YouTube like white ring light screen or something like that. Something will always come up and it will mimic that sort of like ring light. Just put that in front of you and that already will serve as your ring light, and it works wonders. It really does work wonders. Also, a Zoom expert tip, there's also a way for you to better your appearance on Zoom. You can click on preferences and then go on video and then put touch up my appearance. Look at that. Goodbye pores. This combined with your perfect skincare, your perfect makeup, and your perfect lighting is just, they do wonders. Wonders. Tip number 7, make sure your audio is clear. How? It's always much nicer if you could use earphones that comes with a microphone like this one. This way, your audio is so much clearer, you hear everyone better, and everyone hears you better as well. Hello? 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 If you are using an electric fan or a fan, please make sure to pay attention that the fan is not blowing towards your microphone, because then you will create static or some kind of noise, which isn't really good for everyone else you're in a meeting with. Also, make sure to silence your phones. These alerts don't only distract you, but also distract your... what do you call them? Your colleagues. Tip number 8. How about the angle? Like, how are you supposed to get the best angle? The best angle for your camera is to be at eye level. So make sure that the camera, not your phone, not your laptop itself, but the camera on your phone or on your laptop is on eye level. So for me, this is why I love to use my height adjustable table, which you can get from Curio Cavern, which we have. Syempre, nag-vlog ako. But this is why I love it, because I get to adjust my table so that my laptop's camera is on my eye level. I'll show you how it looks when your camera, let's say we're using the phone. My mom, I'm sure a lot of our parents do this. They always do the camera like really below, which is the worst angle ever. It makes your chin look bigger. People can see up your nose, so it's really not a good angle. It's much better if you do it eye level. If it's too high, you're not taking a selfie. Also, nakakapagod siya, honestly. And kung may tripod ka man, it's really just not, you're not doing a selfie or an OOTD. So it's much better if it's on eye level. And also, people really feel like they're talking to you because you're on their level. Now, if it's a laptop, this is where my table comes in handy. So I just adjust my Curio Cavern table and I just raise my table up so that my camera goes from a low angle to my eye level, which is so much nicer, especially for your face. Your face looks smaller, your jaw looks smaller. It's just the best angle ever. Tip number 9. This is actually an answer to a question I got from one of you through my Instagram stories. Someone was asking like, how do you do Zoom calls when it's your first time to meet that person, especially when it's a meeting or especially when it's a job interview? Always start off with a proper introduction of yourself. So always introduce who you are and why you're there. So I would introduce myself. Hi guys, I'm Camille. I'm a blogger and I can't wait to join our event this Saturday. So stuff like that. It's a nice way to break the ice and to get the ball rolling. Tip number 10, always look at the person speaking and make sure to interact with them so they know you're there. And this way, it also helps you focus, because if you keep looking around in the different parts of the room or if you keep looking on your phone, then obviously you're not going to be able to focus. So to help you focus, make sure to really look at at the person, even if your video is off. Look at the person, pretend the person is right there. For me, even if I'm not speaking, I always still nod. Like when someone's speaking, I would nod, I would interact with them. It also helps me get into the zone and it helps me really focus. And it also helps the speaker know that they're being acknowledged and people are actually listening. Tip number 11. This is really important. If it's not your turn to speak or you don't really have anything to say, then keep your mic on mute. This is good. You don't get to distract anyone, and also you prevent anything that you don't want to be heard on the Zoom from being heard. Tip number 12, and this is my last tip, keep your work from home desk distraction free. Just leave there all your essentials, anything you might need during this work from home session. Do not put anything else. Do not put a magazine there. Do not put a book there. Just put all your essentials. So put, like, let's say a glass of water, a glass of coffee, and then put your pens, your paper, your chargers, just all your essentials. Don't put anything else. This will also prevent you from doing anything else besides work. And that is it, my 12 tips on nailing your next video call or online meeting. I hope that this helped, and I hope that I was able to share some tips that you didn't really know about yet. If you have any more tips, then please make sure to leave a comment below and leave them there so that you can share it with the entire Cam fam. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Also, another tip pala, like just a bonus tip, make sure that you also stand from time to time to get your blood flowing. This will make sure that your blood circulation is good. So if you have a height adjustable desk like me, you can do it like you can work standing up, you can have a standing desk, or just walk around the house for a little bit. Always make sure you walk around so that you keep your blood flowing. Bye everyone! Bye from my glowing face, you see. Olay Power Do. Still doing its trick. I'm gonna put the link here in case you still haven't purchased it.